Hey, hi, welcome back. This video is going to be something new and a little interesting. I thought I'd add as a new feature to the channel, me doing a video once a month, just at the beginning of every month, talking about what I've seen for the previous month. So in this case, September 2021, and what I'm looking forward to in the next month. So in this case, October 2021. So yeah, this is just the stuff I'm kind of hyped for coming up in the future. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Keenan. I run this channel, Lemony Fresh. I make videos like this. This one's more of a commentary video, but usually I do movie reviews, videos about television series, and sometimes videos about games. And anything else I just remember off the top of my head. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. Now let's start. Alright, so it's October. Halloween's coming up. This is the big month for me, I guess, this specific niche. Because there are countless horror films to talk about. And I'm going to go through them, but I thought that I'd include a lot more films that I consider Halloween films, kind of seasonal, but not necessarily horror. Or not necessarily dark, I guess. Something a little more uplifting and fun. I usually like to start the beginning of the month this way, so we'll see where that goes. So, what do we have coming up for the month of October? Let's check it out. Movies. Some movies I've watched recently. Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, I'm very excited about this movie. I'm going to save it for a review, but very excited about what this means and what the future holds. Finally watched Stripes. That was like a new one. I don't know, man. Like, see, I like Ghostbusters. I like Bill Murray and like the whole crew, like Harold Ramis and all those guys, John Candy. And I thought John Candy was great in Stripes. I liked him. But, like, I don't know. It's kind of this weird bridge between, like, old generation humor and, like, the newer Hollywood generation humor. But I feel like a lot of the humor in Stripes and, like, maybe the quality of it, too, for its time, it was, like, really groundbreaking and different. But at this point, it kind of feels like it aged. Somebody's going to still enjoy it. I don't know if everybody will, but so in anticipation of No Time to Die, which comes out this month, the latest James Bond movie, I watched the last James Bond movie, Spectre. Well, this was a rewatch. I actually thought it was a lot better than the first time, but rewatching it now, there are a lot of things that I don't really like that they're doing with the Bond series, and I hope this doesn't happen in the new movie either. For one, I feel like they're kind of... What's weird is Bond is becoming more like Mission Impossible now. In the last movie, they kind of established like a set character team. Like there's Moneypenny, there's Q, M is part of it, which is cool for that movie. But I hope they don't continue like making him like, a member of the team. I hope that the movies aren't about getting the team together, and it continues to focus more on Bond, because that's what it was traditionally for me. Like the other people are involved at the beginning, but then with the Daniel Craig Bond, they kind of got more heavily involved with the side characters, especially M. It's a little like too much for me. I'd rather just have these little one-off stories, but that's not for everybody. Maybe it'll be good. I'm sure it won't be bad, so looking forward to the new one. And today I actually saw Free Guy. I'm actually surprised about this one. It was surprisingly good. It wasn't amazing. It's definitely not for everybody. It's clearly targeted towards a specific demographic. I'd say millennials and early millennials. I don't think the humor is specific to them, though. There's just more references, and there are tons of cameos that only people who kind of, spend their time watching Twitch or YouTube gaming, which was featured a lot in the movie for some reason. There's a lot of shout outs to them. But there's also a lot of references to, more classic games, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, there's a Portal reference at one point. There's a Half-Life 2 reference at one point. So that's really cool. I really like the cast. I thought everybody in it was somebody I've seen in a movie before and enjoyed, or a TV series. One particular, I don't want to spoil it. No, I won't spoil it. You watch it. It's pretty cool. It's not a waste of time. Like, it keeps you going. It is kind of sappy. And one thing I thought was weird about it is I feel like they couldn't decide whether with the humor they wanted to make it adult, because I guess that's kind of what people watching Twitch see, even though they're just kids, or if they wanted to make it childish humor, like teen humor. What I kind of think they went for was like a teen summer comedy type of thing. It's kind of the same humor as American Pie or Superbad or Harold and Kumar. Maybe not as sexual, I guess, and not as drug related, but it's still like, it's kind of there. There's F-bombs dropped So it's definitely a little more than PG-13, but not a hard R, I guess. But anyway, I think it's worth checking out. Maybe not pay for, maybe wait till it comes on some streaming service or something, but it's up to you. It's like I said, it's not for everyone. All right, so movies that are coming out this month that I'm really excited for. I've already talked about the new James Bond, No Time to Die. I'll see that at some point, I'm sure. I'm not going to go out of my way for it, but the ones that I am going out of my way for, this one especially, Dune is coming out in October. I've always wanted to see this movie. I have not seen the original. I know of the original, but I just didn't happen to see it, unfortunately. And it was at TIFF, and I live in Toronto, but Eternals is coming out, next Marvel movie. I mean, it's a Marvel movie, so I'll just be seeing it regardless. Although I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, and I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, so those are the two I'm kind of behind on. Plus, besides, the stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus has been top-notch since the beginning of the year, so I can't wait for more series. I'm currently watching What If, so I can't wait for that to wrap up, but it's kind of a little slower, but especially after Loki, which was amazing, but, I'm excited. I'll just watch whatever comes out. That's really interesting to me. The Hawkeye movie kind of looked pretty good, so I'm sure the Eternals will have some important things to say about the overall Marvel universe. And lastly, the next movie I'm really excited for, Last Night in Soho. This is a new movie by Edgar Wright, who has been doing really cool stuff in the last 10 years. I'm glad, I love the Cornetto trilogy as well, but I felt like I was worried he was going to kind of get typecast as this action comedy, horror comedy type of director. And he hasn't. Baby Driver, oh my god, that was amazing. This is one of my favorite driving action thriller movies ever. I love the style of it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is kind of that one is actually similar to the Cornetto trilogy, but he is clearly a director with a vision. He's a fun director. He's very accessible. He's not artsy or anything like that, but he knows how to entertain so well. And I'll watch anything he puts out. So I'm really excited for this. And of course, it looks great too. So there's that. Very interesting story they got going there. Other than that, I've been watching that Star Wars Vision show. I was really looking forward to this. But I was also kind of concerned because this is kind of the same concept they did with that movie last year or 2 years ago, Batman Ninja, where they gave some Japanese anime artist license to do a Batman movie, which I thought was going to be amazing. And instead, kind of, maybe, I guess it appeals to some people, but it's really weird. They went in a direction I didn't really want them to go in with it. And there are a lot of mechs in it for some reason in a Batman movie. It's very bizarre. Oh, and the mechs are all also castles too. There's one made of bats at one point. It's weird. Maybe skip that one if you're a Batman fan. But Star Wars Vision so far has been a lot better. I'm really interested in it. I've only seen the first 3 episodes so far. The first episode is phenomenal. So if you're just looking to see what it's about, just watch that one. You'll either know if you like it or not. Most of them are very short. I don't think any of them are over 15 minutes. So, it's if you have the time, just why not? If you're a Star Wars fan, if you're interested in that, if you have any interest in anime at all, or if you are an anime fan, definitely worth a look. So this one's a little interesting. I do have cable actually. Okay, I just don't watch cable. Cops is coming back. I heard about this before. I actually used to watch Cops a lot when I was in college.
Take a deep breath. It'll be all right. Take a deep breath.
I can break these cuffs.
You can't break those cuffs.
I remember I'd have a lot of days off, and I remember I used to wake up in the morning and they just play that until the afternoon, where I'd watch G4. Actually, speaking of G4, did you know that they're streaming now on Twitch? They're back.
Jerry, I've been thinking about it. I've considered this from every angle, and I'm in.
You know what? I accept your offer because I desire relevance and a paycheck.
Games. What have I been playing? I've been playing lots of Diablo 2, actually. That just came out last week. I've been waiting a long time for a proper Diablo 2 remake with all the bells and whistles. And honestly, this is exactly what I wanted. Everything about it. They kept the same art style, but made it look a lot better in their new engine. It plays exactly the same, except all the bugs are fixed. Or at least, I assume most of them are fixed. Everything just looks better. They didn't mess with a winning formula. They kept it exactly the same. Added a lot of quality of life improvements, and then made the graphics like a million times better. They were already so good and still hold up today, really. But now it's all the full rehaul treatment, and I could not be happier. I love this game. I love playing with friends. I love just leveling. I love the atmosphere and the story, all the little dialogue and all the backgrounds, and that's something that I really like about this version of the game too, because all of the backgrounds and the player areas are so highly detailed now. Especially they added this like cool feature where you can press a button and it zooms in. It's kind of like a hero button from Fable, if you've ever played that, and it will zoom in kind of to your character so you can actually see the full detail of what they're wearing and what they look like. But you can also do it with other characters, and one character that I thought this was interesting for was the rogue head warrior woman, I guess. See, I always thought she wore a red hood with kind of like this like warband around it type of thing. When I actually zoomed in the game, I found out she just has red hair. That's really cool. I didn't know that at all, and it completely changed my vision of her. Really enjoying it so far. I'll probably be playing it the rest of the year. So what am I looking forward to that's coming up in October in terms of games? Well, a lot of games have already come out in the past week or so. I'm already a little behind. For Switch, we got WarioWare Get It Together. I've always loved this series. I remember I used to play it on at my friend's house on Game Boy Advance. I just remember it was such a really interesting game type I've never seen before. I love mini games. I used to love just playing the mini games on Pokemon Stadium alone. We used to do that so much. But yeah, I love a game that's all about mini games. This one has so many, and it's just such a unique style, and I don't think it ever really gets old. Especially with, I'm assuming the Switch version has a lot more like online and co-op features that are really interesting. Very exciting. I can't wait to get that. Speaking of mini games, what I'm probably most excited for is coming out in 3 weeks, I think. Mario Party Superstars. This I am so looking forward to. Mario Party is one of my favorite game series of all time, really. I remember I got the first Mario Party game, I think it came out in 1998, I think, so it would have been my 7th birthday. It was one of the first games I ever got that was like for me and not my brothers to share. It was like just for my birthday. And I wanted it so bad. I was so excited. All my friends were over for my party, and we just played like a full round. Then I had a family party, and all my cousins and I like played another full round, and it was so great. Anyway, can't wait for that. They brought back a lot of the maps I really liked from N64. I felt that Super Mario Party for Switch was a really big letdown. One thing I really hate about it is you can't skip dialogue ahead. You can't skip dialogue ahead. And it goes at a very slow pace. Like you have to wait for the whole text to finish, and then wait. There's like a second long delay before you can actually press anything, and then maybe a little second delay before it goes through. And I hate that because I just want to, especially with games like these, they're so long. You just want to keep going, keep spamming the A button, or at least do that thing where you press the B button and it immediately finishes the text, and then you can skip to the next part. Add that. I hope this game has this, because otherwise it's kind of like a downgrade from the N64 version. If it doesn't, I'm still happy about the boards, because the boards are also a very big disappointment in Mario Party Switch. So I'm really excited to see those classic N64 boards come back. There's a few I like from Mario Party 1, 2, I think there were a couple from 3 on there, so really exciting stuff. Can't wait for that. Also, Back 4 Blood's coming out. Perfect time for Halloween. This is the game that's basically the sequel or the unofficial sequel from the people who made Left 4 Dead. Valve says they can't make a new one, so they just made their own, which is pretty cool. I already played the beta a while back, so that was was the alpha, one or the other. So that was really cool. I instantly fell in love with it. It's the classic Left 4 Dead formula, right? But they did add some new monsters, or special zombies, I guess. And on top of that, they added a lot of really cool guns. I like the gunplay a lot better in this than Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead feels a lot more arcadey in a way. This feels like a little more there's a little bit more skill involved, maybe. There's definitely a lot more coordination required between people too, and I like that. So it's a little more competitive than Left 4 Dead, I found. Of course I only got to play one campaign during the time of the beta, but I can't wait for it to play all of them because they all look really good. I also tried out the versus mode, and I thought that was really good too. I usually don't care about that in games like this, but this time I thought, like, you know, it's really cool. Like, it's actually a pretty good challenge, and it goes pretty quick too. So I think it could be a pretty good versus mode, or maybe even something competitive. I don't know. They want to add an SR rating system or something like that. Be interesting to see. All right, one game I'm kind of disappointed about, Battlefield 2042 got pushed back. It was supposed to come out this month, and now it got pushed back to November, which I think was the traditional release month for these games anyway. I've been playing this series since the very first game. I got it when I was like 14 or 15, I think. Even now, I play one from time to time. One is really good. VI makes me very frustrated when I play it, but then I keep coming back because it has a lot of things that the other games don't have. One thing that I'm actually really excited for Battlefield 2042 that a lot of people aren't really talking about as much as the main game, Battlefield Portal. This is really cool because this is what I've always wanted from this series, and I felt like they would never do this in a million years. They basically brought back mod tools. Except it's kind of soft moddy, but it's something, and it's a lot of pretty in-depth. It's kind of like a Halo Forge mode, if you're familiar with that. What I'm really excited for, though, is that it grabs assets from every time period the game series has gone through. So that's really cool. But not necessarily time period either. You also get guns from games like Battlefield Bad Company, too, which is really awesome. You get the little grenades with the happy faces on them. That's cool. I hope the XM8's in it. That's a really cool gun. There's a Battlefield Bad Company 2 map, so hopefully they have the same levels of destruction. That was kind of watered down with the later games. One of my favorite maps of all time for the entire series, they're bringing back from Battlefield 1942. So I'm really excited about that one. El Alamein. This is what I consider one of the best maps for the entire series. It's so perfectly balanced. There are little combat zones throughout the map, but it all comes together kind of cohesively as one grand map. It's Battlefield game design at its peak, and I'm extremely excited for it. Especially playing like modern combat infantry and vehicles and stuff on the same map. It'll be so interesting to see how that compares to the World War II vehicles and infantry. But unfortunately, that got pushed back to November 19th. So I'll be talking about that at the end of this month again. One thing that also kind of came out of nowhere, Windows 11 is coming out. It's not actually that surprising because I think these operating systems typically have a life of 6 years, which is roughly similar for every console generation. I'm not sure what they're really adding to Windows 11. From the screenshots I looked at, it looks like they're trying to do like a Mac OS thing again. They want to put the taskbar with icons that kind of go in this middle area. Instead of making it a little more simplified and minimal and just, easy to use, they want to they keep adding these weird widgets and things to it. It's not going to happen. Stop trying, Microsoft. Just give us what we want. One last game, won't go too in depth, but Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is coming out, and that's also one of my favorite games from growing up. I used to play Super Monkey Ball 2 at my friend's house every summer. We were so on top of that game. I remember the mini games especially. There was that dog fighting one. It took us forever to unlock it, and when we did, it was such a good game. I love the boxing one too. You can get the like really hard fists, or you can get the elongated fist, and eventually like somebody just powers up so much that they're just shooting across the map. The racing one, my favorite is there's one where you kind of go down a ramp, and then you shoot off the ramp, and then you kind of like fly to these islands in the distance, and you're supposed to land on the right points. So you try to land in the middle. You can get upgrades on the way, like you can get a magnet that directly sends you down whatever you're over. You can get brakes where it kind of, once you hit the ground, it'll start slowing you down faster. Stuff like that. And I remember just getting to there's one map that had 3 separate islands, and we always kept trying to get to the 3rd island, and we finally did, and it was so fun. I love these games. Again, another one that's heavy on mini games. But even the regular mode where you're just going through the puzzles is really awesome too. Okay, so those are the things I'm looking forward to in October, things I've been hearing this month, and things I've been doing last month. If you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you next time. That's all I gotta say about that.